going on, y'all? It's the MMA Analyst back at it again. This time it's for the review. A little late, but better late than never for UFC 89, Bisping versus Leben. Got a little bit of a good excuse for my lateness. Saturday, actually, I could have maybe got it up nice early on Saturday before a lot of people even saw the fights because I watched it in the afternoon. But I figured, that's not necessary. And, Saturday night I wasn't even at home. But the good excuse was through a good buddy of mine, Robin Black. He's a fighter and a music guy, and he's the PR guy at Extreme Couture. Got a little hookup to interview Chuck Liddell on Sunday. So that was yesterday, the day after the fights, whatnot. Supposed to get a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes with Chuck, the Iceman Liddell. Have my questions ready. Where are my questions? These are some of my questions. Yeah. I was going to ask him some good questions. I was going to ask him, I got questions, you know what I mean? But if you could see him, I had to scratch them all out. I had to scratch all of them out because Chuck wasn't having it. He was not trying to be there for a whole lot of times with these interviews, man. He got his Fight Network interview. He got his Sherdog interview. He got one other interview in real quick. I was supposed to be next. And Chuck was not having it. And damn. So I had to do an ambush interview, which basically meant one quick question in the line with a microphone while he signed the book and stuff. And I don't even know I don't even have that footage back yet because of some other oh my goodness. Sunday was kind of crazy. It was a good experience though. Met Chuck Liddell regardless. I got Mauro Ranallo. Yeah. But let's get right down to business here. I'll get that video up, whatever I happen to have. I'll get that up over the next few days as soon as I get it. All right, Michael Bisping versus Chris Leben. I picked Chris Leben here by being able to catch Bisping within the 15 minutes of fighting. Had I known, and I'm not trying to make excuses, had I known Bisping's plan was to win by decision, then I would have changed my view on the fight. Why am I saying Chuck for him? Get him out of my mind. All right, if Bisping and Leben fight toe to toe, if they stand to fight, that's not a good idea for Bisping. But if they were to actually fight and exchange, then there's no way on earth Bisping would go 15 minutes without getting caught. Once he gets caught, he get put out. Also, there's really not much of a chance of Bisping really hurting Leben because Leben's got that nice jaw. He can take a punch, and Bisping's punching power is not all that. So based on those two things, I figured if these guys had a regular fight, then Leben would end up catching him. Little did I know Bisping was playing it smart. I mean, I should have figured that, but he played it smart. He got on his bicycle, you know what I mean, and he hit and he jabbed and then he got out. And I don't want to say the dude's name, because everybody that hit and run, that's not Machida. Everybody's not Machida, but it's kind of like that, except for Machida's much faster and much more skilled. But regardless, he handled his business. He beat Leben up, busted his eye up, nose up, bloody, everything bruised, swollen. Dude looked beat up. And Bisping could have went to a photo shoot, and he probably did. And he probably looked, like regular ass Bisping. He definitely had a nice fight plan. Not a popular one for a lot of guys, I'm sure. Me, myself, I would have rather seen him, stand there and fight, but who cares what I think? He's trying to win. What's next? Leben's here to stay. He's always going to be in the UFC. He's a good gatekeeper. He's got a much better attitude now. Even more in this fight, we saw after the fight how he took it like a champ. You know what I mean? Maybe he took it a little too easy. He was like, that was fun. I'm like, wow. But I'm sure he wanted to win. But hey, he's got a good heart. He's a man. He handles his business. So he'll be fighting they want to test people. They want to see where somebody's at in the division. Put him up against Leben. Leben, Leben's like their measuring scale, the measuring stick. Now, let me spit this gum out real quick, or I should swallow it. Hold on. All right. So, Bisping, what's up with Bisping? Up next for Bisping, the winner of Dan Henderson and Rich Franklin. That's the only place for him to go. The winner of Dan Henderson, Rich Franklin, that's who he's going to fight. And then, from what I read, Bisping and whoever that person is, whether it's Henderson or Franklin, will be coach on the next season of The Ultimate Fighter. That's pretty much what's going to go down. They're trying to build Bisping up. They're trying to give him competition now. He's no more fighting Elvis Sinisek, no disrespect, but, no more fighting easier guys. Leben was his test. He passed the Leben test, and now what's up next? Tough ass dudes. And if you're ready for the tough ass dudes, then you're ready. If you're not, no big deal. We've already built you up. Once you're big, you can lose and you can still be big. All right. It was an okay main event. I would have rather seen Chris Leben win, but the fact of the matter is Michael Bisping's striking was better. He had a better game plan, and that's that. All right. Keith Jardine versus Brandon Vera. Jardine, now, I'm going to be honest. Out of all of my, and when I say all, it's not like I've been doing it for years, but since I started this, a few UFCs and a few dreams back and whatnot, this has been my most proud moment as the MMA analyst. Ooh, speaking about my most proud moment, damn, I forgot. And I'm going to bring that up later. I got to do a quick shout out. Anyways, predicting split decision for Jardine. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't think anyone was going to get knocked out. Exactly what I said. Brandon Vera is not the aggressive dude that he used to be. He's a little more, he's a little more, I don't know what the word is right now, mind blank, but he's not just going to come up and attack Jardine. If these guys would have straight up just like jumped in the middle of the ring and, put that phone booth around him and they swung wildly, yeah, Jardine would have got knocked out, just like he got knocked out against Vanderlei Silva, just like he got knocked out against Houston Alexander. Jardine's power, his strength, is not in just standing and throwing. He's got to be able to chill out, throw some hits, move out, move in, whatnot. Vera allowed that to happen. Vera lost by a split decision. Your boy, the MMA analyst, pick split decision. Yes, I like that one. It makes up for my main event blunder. Overall, I did all right. 8-3. Can't be upset with that. What's up for now? Jardine, damn. I mean, who would have thought this? Jardine has a win over Chuck Liddell, former UFC light heavyweight champion. He has a knockout win over current UFC light heavyweight champion. And then he has a win over Brandon Vera, contender, heavyweight contender. Those are 3 big wins in the UFC. His stock's got to rise. He's got to be right around the corner for a title shot. What he has to do, though, is he can't get a title shot off just one win in a row. He's got to get another good win. If he gets another good win, Keith Jardine for the title shot. Let's say next fight he fights, I don't know, I don't know really who, because everybody's all lined up. But let's just say if nobody had any fights coming up and he fought, let's say, I don't want to be too obvious and say Rampage or something like that, but let's just say he fought a top 10 light heavyweight contender and he beat him, he would be next for title shot because of just what he's been able to do in his career recently. And of course, that's after other people's title shots. So he'd be second in line. But anyways, he's going, things are looking good for Jardine. Brandon Vera, whoa, dude. I don't know what's going on. Believe what you see. A wise man once said, don't believe the hype, believe what you see. He started out 8-0. During that 8-0, He beat a lot of below average dudes, and then one good guy in Frank Mir, but like a kind of Frank Mir that wasn't even really supposed to be fighting. He was still like busted up and unable to really handle his. I'm not gonna make excuses. I'm just saying, since fighting top guys in top condition, Brandon Vera has come up short. Yes, he beat Reese Andy. Yes, but what does that mean? You know what I mean? He lose to Brandon Vera, which is nothing to be ashamed of. But I don't think, based on the seeing and not believing the hype, I don't believe Brandon Vera is a top light heavyweight, and I don't believe he's a top heavyweight. And by top, I mean top 10. He lost to his three toughest competitors. And I see him losing to other tough competitors. I see him beating the guys that he should rightfully beat, and the guys he would lose to are the guys that, we all think are better than him anyways. We'll see. Brandon Vera is not leaving the UFC, I think he shouldn't get an easy fight next. I think he should get another test. 205, you know what? Both coming off losses, make it happen. Brandon Vera versus Sokoudjou. Whoever wins can stay. Whoever loses, you got to go. And you can come back later. Make it happen. Dana, I don't know if you're seeing these. My finger looks messed up there. I don't know if you're seeing these, Dana. Sokoudjou versus Brandon Vera in a I quit the UFC for now match. Because they can come back. Sokoudjou's only 24. We're going to get to him in a minute. Maybe even next. Yes, next. Let's just keep moving. Sokoudjou versus Luis Kane. I'm going to be honest. I was rooting for Sokoudjou. I said it in the preview during the fight. To be real honest, I fell asleep in the first round. And it was like 4 in the afternoon, so I don't know why I was so tired. But I literally woke up. I was watching the whole thing, fell asleep just before round 1 started, and woke up at the beginning of round 2. And I still haven't seen round 1. So to be completely honest, I don't know what I missed. But I know what I didn't miss, which was me being disappointed in my man, Sokoudjou, and also me being very proud of the fact that, once again, your boy got it right on a tough pick. Sokoudjou versus Kane, that's a tough pick. You know what I mean? But sometimes, you got to go with your head. I just couldn't see a way that he was going to win this. Now, we got some serious problems with Sokoudjou, man. Serious problems. His stamina is bad. He gets tired quick. He gets tired real quick. This guy's got like Luder. He like must train with Luder, because I know Luder, his stamina is jacked up too. I don't know what's up with this big, strong, young black man, but he gets tired quick. He trains with Team Quest. Henderson, and I don't know what's going on over there, but y'all gotta fix this guy's ability to like stay fresh, because this dude is not fresh, man. When after 5 minutes of fighting, he is dead tired, and then he's trying to throw one-punch knockouts, which you can't really do in the UFC unless you're Chuck Liddell anywhere in between 2004 and 2007. Anyways, Kane put him up against another test. He passed the Sokoudjou test. What should we do? Where should he go from here? Kane versus Thiago Silva. Boom! I need to get a job with the UFC as their matchmaker. I will make the fights that make sense. Thiago Silva versus Kane. 2 Brazilians, 2 tough guys, 2 possible contenders, but they're in the same place. So you got to eliminate one of them for now. And back to Sokoudjou. Dude's 24 years old. He's only got 7 fights, I think it is now. No big deal. You know what I mean? Put him up against, like I said, Brandon Vera. Put him up against a test. Be like, dude, you got to sink or swim here. Obviously, if he loses again, you know what I mean? It's going to be real difficult to make sense of Sokoudjou still getting paid the money he's getting paid in the UFC. So, I don't know. Sokoudjou got the big win over Arona, the most surprising win, like the big win over Lil Nogueira, just surprising wins. And then he comes to UFC, and against what I would consider to be lesser opponents, no disrespect, he chokes. I don't know what that's all about. But make it happen, man. Sokoudjou, you got to fight. You gotta fight. You gotta fight Vera, Kane. You gotta fight Thiago Silva. All right, Chris Lytle versus Paul Taylor. I don't know what Lytle was thinking, except for he must be really, really into that extra 40 grand, because he said, we're gonna make this the fight of the night along with Paul Taylor. And I'm like, how are you gonna make this fight of the night? I mean, you can't decide just to be the fight of the night. There could just be another fight that is more entertaining. You have to win a fight. Win the fight. Don't worry about fight of the night. Fight of the night will happen naturally. Win the fight. So when he was going out there throwing these crazy looping punches, head down, just brawl tactics, I was like, dude, take this dude to the ground and win, man. His boxing, he is tagging you in your chin with those uppercuts. Taylor was hitting him with nice uppercuts, and I was just like, oh, damn. I don't know how long his head can take this, but he took it, and he just kept taking it, and they swung, and I'm like, yo, man, halfway through the second round, I'm like, these guys are actually going to get fight of the night. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. And then end of the third round, I'm like, these guys did it. They actually did it. We're going to get fight of the night. We're each going to get that extra bonus money. I mean, it's hard to get fight of the night. You're fighting other people fighting. You know what I mean? So anyways, he got the fight of the night along with Taylor. And he won the fight. And he didn't go to the ground. I mean, he didn't really go to the ground. He tried a few times, but he basically did it on his feet. Got to give both of them props. They both came through. What's next for the two of them? Paul Taylor, the guy's a tough dude. You know what I mean? He's fighting in these really exciting fights. Just give him somebody else. Give him somebody exciting from the fight. Just give him another test. He's not going anywhere. Chris Lytle, let's get right into it. You want to fight Marcus Davis? Do it, man. Or is that Marcus Davis that want to fight you? Anyway, make it happen. Davis versus Lytle. That'll be a real nice fight. And then we go Marcus Davis versus Paul Kelly. These last few fights is why in the previews I was like, although the names aren't big, like the fight and the heart in these fighters are big, so maybe it can save the event from just being a no-name little fight event. And they kind of did. Marcus Davis handled his business, came in better all around, but a little bit smaller and I'm pretty sure older. Ended up taking it to the ground and getting that submission. These guys are all in the same little ball. It's like in lightweights they have like that group of dudes that just fight each other, and they're just trying to get to the top. And same thing here. All these guys are trying to get that title shot, trying to get that opportunity, and they're fighting each other, and they're exciting guys. They may not be considered the top 10 guys, but there's definitely tough fighters with a lot of heart, a lot of skill, and exciting situation here. Paul Kelly, put him up against another good tough fighter. Marcus Davis, put him up against Chris Lytle. All right, undercard. Akira Gono versus Dan Hardy. I got this one wrong, and it's been hard to actually find this fight, to be completely honest. I haven't seen the fight. From what I see, Hardy won by split decision. Dan Hardy, he's a tough guy. He hasn't actually lost a fight by losing since he lost to David Barron back in 10 fights ago. He did lose a disqualification to Yoshiyuki Yoshida, but he hasn't actually lost a fight in a while. So he got a big win over Akira Gono. Gono, you know what I mean? He's been up and down now in the UFC. He came in, he got the submission of the night over Tamden McCrory. Then he lost to Dan Hardy. Before he came to the UFC, he's all up in pride. He beat Dennis Kang. He lost to Dennis Kang. Beat Yuki Kondo, beat Musashi, beat Hector Lombard, lost to Dan Henderson. Everybody knows, this guy's all over the place. He's got lots of skill. He'll be back, you know what I mean? He's not going anywhere. there are lots of tough guys in this weight class. Maybe like Paul Kelly versus Akira Gono. These guys don't all have to fight each other every time they go to Europe, to Britain or something like that. But I mean, if they're doing it, they might as well keep doing it. You know what I mean? Akira Gono versus Paul Kelly. That'll be a good fight. All right, Shane Carwin versus Neil Wayne. There are three real big UFC heavyweights that could potentially have nice futures once these other guys get out of the way. Once Nogueira retires and stuff like that. Brock Lesnar, if he continues to fight, I personally believe he's in it as like a test for himself. And once he gets the belt, and once he does whatever he does and makes his money, I personally think he's just going to be like, I handled my business, I left, just like he did in the WWE. He came in, he went to the top of the game, you know what I mean? He was like, he retired like right after one of the biggest, like the highest place you can be in wrestling. I'm not really into it, so I don't really know all the intricacies of whatnot. But I do know that he left on the top, and I do not think that I don't know. I just don't see I don't see Brock Lesnar having 15 fights before he retires. I don't think he'll have 8 fights and he'll retire. So between now and 8 and like 6 and like 4 or 5 fights from now, I think you'll see him retire because he'll prove to himself I could do it. You know what I mean? I can fight the tough guys. Especially if he beats Randy, which I think he will. Just because he's a young, strong, huge guy, I think he'll be like, I beat Randy Couture, I beat the Crazy Horse, the Texas Crazy Horse, Heath Herring, and I beat, whoever else he may beat during his time in the UFC, and then he's gonna be like, I did it, I proved it to myself, I'm done. Anyways, let's get back to it though. You've got Brock Lesnar, possible future of the UFC heavyweight division if he stays around. You've got Cain Velasquez, which definitely is a serious situation with that dude. Very young dude, very powerful, very strong, good all over the place. And then you've got Shane Carwin. The difference here is Shane Carwin is fighting guys that the other guys are not fighting. Easy guys. Shane Carwin, and when I say easy, I don't mean like the easiest, but definitely not on the same level. Neil Wayne, he's a big guy, whatnot. I mean, the dude got took to the ground and pounded out. I mean, either Carwin is that sick to the point where, like, he really isn't ever going to see halfway through the first round of a fight, or he's got to start fighting tougher guys, period. Because he has had potentially, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him, he must have had the easiest first 10 fights when it comes to just visual appearance. You go in, you beat the first guy. Your first fight's your toughest fight. It takes you 2 minutes and 11 seconds to win. Your next fight, 22-second submission. Next fight, 1 minute 31-second submission. Next fight, 31-second TKO. 29-second submission. 49-second KO. You know what I mean? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, either this guy is seriously a beast and all run in fear, or he's just not fighting the dudes that he needs to fight yet. For example, Shane Carwin versus Cain Velasquez, I don't think that this is going to be a 31-second win for Carwin. It's going to be a battle that I think Cain would win, but that's what I want to see. I want to see how real Shane Carwin is. Cain Velasquez, that dude's serious, and Brock Lesnar. These guys are some young dudes. Neil Wayne never really stood a chance, and neither have the rest of Shane Carwin's guys. They never stood a chance. Crazy. And then for these next few, I'm just going to run through them. Jess Leodon, he lost to the Swedish man, David Bielkeden. It's tough saying some of these dudes' names. I picked that one correct. Sam Stout, Canadian. He was defeated by Terry Edham. I don't even know what I picked with that one. Did I get that? I know I got 3 wrong. So I'm not sure what happened there. But don't matter what I did. Anyways, Barron, I know I got this one wrong. I picked David Barron to beat Jim Miller. That's not what happened. Miller actually, he kind of owned the whole fight and then submitted Barron in the third round. He really did like whoop dude's ass, and then choked him out. And then Per Eklund defeated Sammy Schiavo in another lightweight bout. Awards for the night, man. Fight of the night. Like I said before, Chris Lytle, Paul Taylor. They said in the stare down the day before we're gonna get fight of the night, and they did. Knockout of the night. I didn't pick a knockout. I thought he would win. I didn't know he'd get a knockout of the night. Luis Kane, and submission of the night. It was a pretty half decent submission. Jim Miller. They all picked up $40,000 extra dollars. All right, I will be back later on today to do my UFC 90 preview. That's a crazy card. Anderson Silva fighting Patrick Cote in the biggest underdog favorite fight since, I don't know, since maybe Cro Cop fought Eddie Alvarez. Like, it's been that long. Actually, you know what? That's what I want to see next. UFC. Joe Silva, Dana White. Next fight, Shane Carwin versus Eddie Alvarez. Carwin will beat him, but it's not going to be in under a minute. And if it is, I'll be impressed. I don't think Alvarez is all that great, but I don't think you just get walked over. So make that fight happen. Anyways, let me just jump on this real quick. I got to do a quick shout out. Damn, I should have had this ready. All right. Recently, that was Sunday, I got my 1,000th subscriber, and it was Edison Star 23. I want to say special shout out to Edison Star 23, my thousandth subscriber. I want to thank all you other dudes and females, dudes and dudettes. I want to thank y'all. A lot of these, they're from Jeremy, but you guys stayed with me. You're still here. You know what I mean? You guys are recognizing what the situation is, and that is, of course, MMA. It's important. It's important, y'all. Peace.